All right, so you always hear this word copywriting. What is it and why is it so important to an online entrepreneur? Well, today I'm going to share with you 7 of the most effective ways on how to turn your copy into paying customers. So stay with me throughout this video so you can actually see these 7 tips. What's up guys, Zeb here, and today we're going to be talking about 7 of the most effective ways to turn your copy into paying customers. Alright, now guys, if you're not sure what copy is, you will have a better understanding by the end of this video. So stick with me throughout this video so you can get these 7 ways, and they are very effective, and you'll have a better understanding of what this whole copywriting thing is and how important it is to your online marketing. Alright, now if you're new to my channel, my name is Zeb Summers. I'm an online entrepreneur. I talk about make money online, affiliate, internet, digital marketing, and I'm here to help you through your journey to a laptop lifestyle so you can get some freedom in your life. Now, if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, click that little notification bell, and give me a thumbs up and drop me some comments down below. And guys, if you are looking for a full-time income online, just click the top link in my description and it'll help you get there. All right. So now the 7 most effective ways to turn your copy into paying customers. All right. So if you are familiar with copy, you may have ran across Joe Sugarman. He's a legendary copywriter. It got started back in the mail order days, and he did the direct mail copywriting, similar to what Gary Halbert did and those legends. All right. So these tips came out of his book called the Adweek Copywriting Handbook. If you are looking to get into copywriting, that is one book that I would recommend. I would also recommend many others, and there are tons of them out there, but this is one that's very good if you want to learn a little bit about marketing and what the whole direct mail copy used to be. All those tips, then check out that book. All right, so let's get started right off the bat for the first way to turn copy into paying customers. The first step here is to become an expert. All right, and what does that mean? You need to become an expert to a product, service, or anything else that you write to be effective, right? So I'm not saying that you have to be a complete expert, but you have to know what you're talking about to grab their attention, all right? So the first process to become an expert in whatever you're about to sell is that you need to pick up enough specific knowledge to find the right details to effectively sell to your customers, all right? So Joe Sugarman, he tells his story very well in this book, and guys, he gets across very well. So he is an expert in his niche. All right, now I'm by far no expert, but I am learning copy and I get better every time I write. And it's very important because you're going to have emails that you're writing, you're going to have blog posts, you're going to have videos, etc., etc. And what you're doing is you're becoming an authority in your niche. All right. So you need to understand the product, the service that you're using. If you're promoting a service or a product, be a product of the product. All right. Make sure you understand that product. You know that product inside and out. You use that product. Don't just be promoting stuff to promote it, because people are going to ask you about it. And if you don't know anything about it because you haven't used it, then why are you going to promote it? All right. So that is the first tip, to be an expert. All right. Tip number 2, know your customers. So you must know your customers to sell product or service to them. All right. So you can't be selling weightlifting gadgets to somebody looking to clean their teeth. All right. Because that doesn't mix. All right. You're not going to sell a recipe to somebody that wants to learn how to clean their car. All right. So make sure you understand your customer so you can give them a product or service, and that'll help you write the copy for that customer. All right. So if your assignment is to write a copy for a product or service that you really don't have or feel for, then you'll have a great deal of studying to do to make sure you understand who your customer is and motivates him or her to actually buy from you. All right. So very important to know your customer. All right. If you don't know your customer, then copywriting is going to be very painful for you, because it's going to be very hard for you to persuade that person to read on in your copy, because they're not going to, if it's the wrong person, it's like people always say, it's like trying to sell ice to an Eskimo. No, you want to sell heaters to an Eskimo, because an Eskimo wants a heater, not ice. All right. So you just want to know your customer. That'll help you at writing your copy. All right. The next tip number 3, is write quickly. All right. So the first thing you have to do when you're writing an email or anything else, write it. Write the first draft, write it complete. If you're doing a blog post, write the entire blog post in one setting, okay? Because what happens is if you come back and forth to your first draft, it'll be kind of choppy and it'll start not flowing. Whereas if you sit down and you just write your first draft, it flows, okay? It'll start to flow, and then you can come back and tweak it later. That you want your juices flowing, and you want to be able to actually write that in your first draft. All right. You can. There's no wrong way to start. All right. You just got to start, flow, write the full first draft, then come back and edit it. All right. So your first draft of an ad is pretty terrible usually, right? But the real skill in copywriting is taking that rough draft and polishing it up. All right. So to know where you can get the reader's attention and keep them coming back to read the next line. All right. So your first goal is to have a headline to actually get that customer to read your first sentence. All right. So as soon as they read that first sentence is to get them to read the next sentence. Okay. So and so on and so forth. That's the whole secret of an ad. If you read ads and you read a really good ad, it'll have parts in there that grab you in and it'll try to pull you into the next line. All right. So that's power of copy. All right. And your first couple of times you write, you're going to realize that you really don't know what you're doing, and you're going to get better and better as you do it. All right. You'll start taking a step back and coming back as the customer, and you'll read your stuff. And if it don't make sense to you, then it's probably not going to make sense to the customer. But you also got to know your customer. All right. So just go out there, start, write quickly, and just keep iterating. Okay. Some of the greats edit up to 60 times their rough draft. So you may have a rough draft and it may end up being something totally different. But that rough draft is what got you started, okay? It got the juices flowing and got you writing better. Tip number 4 is get the first line read. As I said just previously, the first step is to get that first sentence read, all right? Your headline is to grab the attention. So let's just talk about an email. Your subject, okay, is the main goal of that is to get an open, all right? Get somebody to open that email. Then the very first line in that email is the most important line in that whole email, because that line is going to either pull them in or it's just going to push them out. All right. So you want that very first sentence, you want them to read that. And as soon as they do, you want that sentence to help to make them read the next sentence or the next paragraph. All right. So it's very important that all elements of your email is pretty much getting them to read that first sentence, that second sentence, and it keeps pulling them in. All right. So then you're actually telling them you want them to where to go. All right. You're pulling them in with your story, giving them, their problem, you're agitating their problem, and then you're going to offer a solution, which is your product or service. And you want them to click on that link eventually, right? So you want to pull them in, and you want to keep pulling them down through the article so they'll actually click on that link. So your first goal is to get that first sentence read. All right. Tip number 5 is effective framing. Okay. And I know that's probably, what the hell is effective framing? All right. So you want to have your layout of your email in the first few paragraphs of your email. It must create the buying environment. All right. So it's got to be like you're telling a story about their problem. Okay. You don't want to talk about you. You want to talk about them. Okay. You don't want to say I. You want to say you. All right. And you want to talk about that in your story. All right. And the story's got to be leading up to get them to buy your solution that you're offering them. All right. So I know framing can be confusing, and what it pretty much means is you just need to create a frame through which people view your product or service. And businesses do this basically with professional offices and stylish receptions when you come in. So when you go into an office and they usually have a receptionist, a pretty girl behind a desk, all right? That's a facade, all right? That's what you're doing with your first paragraph of your email, all right? You want that to be the most beautiful part of your email, because that's pulling them in to your email so you can actually sell them something, all right? So that was tip number 5, frame effectively, all right? Lesson number 6 is slippery slide. And what does that mean, all right? You want to create a slippery slide. So what you're doing is you're getting them to come into your email, all right? Your readers will be so compelled to read your copy that they can't stop reading. They keep sliding down that slide, all right? And that's why they call that slippery slide. And this is a copywriting term, and you'll hear it in all the books. They all talk about the slippery slide. When I first read it, I was like, I don't understand what that is. And then once you start learning how to write, you'll start to actually see where you're pulling your customer in, and at the end then they jump back on that slide. So it's just they're sliding down the slippery slide to your offer. All right. So you're just pulling them in. You're pulling them in to your copy. All right. So I'm not the best copywriter. I'm not the best copy anything, but I have lots of experience because I've been doing it for quite some time. I like writing stories, and I like to weave my stories with their problems with my product or service. All right. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's long copy, there's short copy. I kind of like the longer copy, but I'm more of a probably medium, because the short stuff, it seems too cheesy to me. And I have a lot of emails where I use the short stuff and it doesn't get the open rates or click rates as the ones where I actually tell a story. All right. So I think that's something that you have to play with your audience, but you'll figure that out as time goes. Just get some books and get some actually knowledge around copywriting. All right. There's a couple different courses you can get to learn copy. Maybe I'll put one of the best ones that I've taken down a link in the description for that. But you can pick out anything. You can pick out some books, learn, just look at ads, look at other people's emails, and just learn about what they're doing. And some of the really good people like Ben Settle or somebody like that, Doberman Dan, they have really good long form copy that you can actually learn a lot from if you actually read their emails. Tip number 7, this is the final tip, is you want to target emotions. So you want to trigger emotions. All right. There's triggers in your email because the reader is emotions. So emotions drive a person to buy. Okay. People buy on emotions, and you want to poke. If there's a problem, you want to agitate that problem. You want to agitate it so much that they want to purchase your product as the solution to that problem that you're writing about. All right. So triggers, emotions, knowing what emotions to trigger is very important. There is a book out there. It's called, I think it's called Triggers actually. And it goes over the 30 emotions of a customer. All right. So the top 30 triggers that ad or copywriters actually use, some of the pros use. So it's a very good book. It's called Trigger. Go check that out. And guys, you sell on emotion because people purchase on emotion. All right. You don't want them to justify their purchase, because as soon as they start thinking about justifying it, they're going to leave your email to go research something, and you lost them. Okay, so you want to give them enough information to where they're like, you know what, I want to buy that right now, because you got in their head that they need to buy that product. All right, so that's something to do with the triggers. All right, so that's a very important piece, is to understand what emotions actually cause people to buy something. All right. So guys, hopefully you got some value out of this and it wasn't too all over the place, but I want to do more videos of talking about stuff I've been learning, so you guys can actually get tips from me on actually what I'm learning. Okay. So maybe I'll do another video where I'm actually writing an email and I go over these tips while I'm writing an email. So drop a comment down below if you'd like to see me do something like that, because that maybe I'll go over like the rough draft of me typing up an email and show you exactly how I write copy and how I come up with these sections and how I create that slippery slide to get my customers to actually click that link. All right, guys, peace out. Hope you have a great day. And again, if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Click the link down below if you want some information on on how to make a full-time income, or need some copywriting information. Click that link down below. Peace out.